Hello class, this is a video tutorial on deriving trigonometric functions, part 4. In this video we're going to look at applying these to the quotient rule. So we know the quotient rule as f of x equals u over v, and f prime of x becomes u prime v minus uv prime all over v squared, where u and v are some functions of x. All we do with trigonometry is we merely apply the same rules in combination with the trig functions shown here. Let's get on with it. Here I've written myself, I often do this even on my own paper, just so I can follow along and not mess up. So I let u equal sine x, and u prime will now be cosine of x. V is equal to x, and v prime is equal to 1. Okay, so let's get on with it. Here we go, which means f prime will give me u prime, which is cosine of x, times v, which is x here. X. Now, not to be confused, this is cosine of x. Those two x's do not multiply. Minus u, which is sine of x, sine of x like this, times 1, all over v squared. V is x, so this is going to become x squared. Let's clean this up a little bit. Cosine x times x becomes x cosine of x minus sine x times 1 is just sine x all over x squared. Moving right along. Here in this second example we have x squared, so we let u let my u be x squared, which means u prime is equal to, u prime equals 2x. My v is cosine x, giving me my v prime being negative sine of x. Altogether, combining this, f prime will give me u prime, 2x, times v, which is cosine of x. Let me clean this up just a little bit. So 2x times cosine of x times cosine of x minus, following this formula here, minus u, which is x squared, times negative sine of x all over v squared, which is cosine x squared. So this is, I totally messed that. Cosine of x squared. So, this is cosine of x squared. Let's clean this up a little bit. 2x times cosine x is just 2x cosine x minus, but look, negative x squared times negative sine gives me positive x squared sine of x all over cosine squared x. Moving right along. Here we have another one. So we have sine of x as our u. Let me bring down this little note that I have here. There we go. We let u be sine x, u prime be cosine x, and v be cosine x, and v prime be negative sine of x. Let's bring it all together using this rule here. F prime is equal to u prime cosine of x times cosine of x, which is v, minus u, which is sine x, times negative sine of x, all over v squared, which is cosine, well, you saw in the previous one, it just becomes cosine squared of x. Bringing everything together, f prime becomes cosine x times cosine x becomes cosine squared x. Negative sine x times negative sine x becomes positive sine squared x, all over cosine squared x. And using some trig identities, cos squared x plus sine squared x becomes 1 on cosine squared x, and this is actually just sec squared x. Anyone with an astute eye, you would have noticed that sine squared x on cosine x is actually tan x. So tan x becomes sec squared x because of the quotient rule. Okay, let's finish off this last one. These last three. Using our rule just here in the top left corner. Let's let u equal e3 to the x, with u prime being e3 to the x times the derivative of 3x, which is 3. V equals sine of x squared. V prime equals cosine of x squared times the derivative of the inside, which is 2x. Putting everything together, here's my rule in the top left corner. F prime is equal to u prime 3e to the 3x times sine x. So let's bring that together. 3e 3x times sine of x squared minus, okay, uv prime. This becomes 2x e to the 3x cosine of x squared all over v squared, which is this one here, so that becomes sine squared x squared. Last two examples here. Let's let u be equal to sine of 3x, u prime equals cosine of 3x times the derivative of the inside, which is 3. I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit here. So you can pause it at any time to give it a go yourself. V is cosine of x squared. V prime is negative sine x squared times the derivative of the inside, which is 2x. Combining it all together, f prime equals, what's this? It'll be u prime v, so it's 3 cosine 3x times cosine of x squared minus, here we are, so it's going to be uv prime, so sine 3x times negative 2x sine x squared This negative will multiply with this other negative, this 2x here. So it's going to be plus 2x sine 3x times sine x squared all over cosine, which is v squared, cosine x squared, cosine squared, cos squared x squared. Final example here. This one's very difficult, so we have u being tan of e to the 2x, u prime, well, deriving tan, we get sec squared of e to the 2x, but we need to derive e to the 2x, which is 2e to the 2x. Our v is just x cubed, which means our v prime is 3x squared. Combining this together, we get f prime equals u prime, which will be this times this. That's 2x cubed e to the 2x sec squared e to the 2x minus u v prime. So this times this gives me negative 3x squared tan e to the 2x all over this squared, which gives me x to the power of 6. Hope that gave you an insight into applying the quotient rule to trigonometric functions. Best of luck.